11 goals scored on the first day of March Day 2 of the ongoing 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. It is a cold morning in the city of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial city. I don't know where you are. I don't know what the weather where you are, James. Very welcome to the show. Of course, it is yesterday at the AFCON, and of course, previewing Titanic matches that will be going down today at the competition. James, I don't know if it is cold where you are, but if it is hot, you are missing something. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, Femi. It's a bit chilly where I am, and what a good way to start the day. Super Eagles. Everybody is happy, and we hope they'll build on from this. And for Ghana, well, I don't know. When we get to the art,
James, don't start.
so let's get started.
Okay, James has still already taken over the show. He didn't even allow me to talk about the Super Eagles. That is to show the excitement on the faces of a lot of Nigerians this morning. We welcome you, our fans around the world. This is Sport Africa. Of course, we've been doing this since for over a month now, and we are here because of you, because of your support. We do not take that lightly at all. We appreciate you so much. Kyle Ogundare is still a bit under the weather. We spoke this morning. Still very much a bit under the weather. Hopefully, in the next few days, they will be joining the show. James, let's get started. And the name on everyone's face or lips or wherever you want to call it this morning is Emilio Nsue. The surprising thing is that he was a former defender, a right back, so to say, for Middlesbrough and Birmingham, and he scored the first hat-trick at the AFCON for in how many years now against Guinea-Bissau that we expected we're going to put up a fight, having lost their first game to Cote d'Ivoire, and it ended 4-1 with Nsue scoring a hat-trick, joining the likes of Samuel Eto'o, another African great who has achieved such feat at the AFCON finals.
I think the excitement of the Super Eagles family has made you to forget that the game ended 4-2, not 4-1.
Oh, 4-2, rather. Sorry, 4-2.
Still in the mood. Enjoy. Going for the 34-year-old, join an exclusive list of players who scored a hat-trick. Though we still have, I think Eto'o scored 4. Benny McCarthy scored 4 in 1998. The Laurent Poku, I think, scored more than, I think he scored 5 or so in just one game. But good one for the player. The first to score a hat-trick at this year's AFCON, and the first to score a hat-trick since 2008, so a good one for him. I never expected that from Equatorial Guinea. I was expecting a very tight contest, but I mean, they show that they are growing into the competition, and when you play your kind and you sniff that opportunity, you just have to take it. And that's exactly what they did, and put them in a good position, set up nicely for their game against Ivory Coast, because it's going to be a tense game. So we have to wait and see how they are going to manage it, because everything will be thrown at them. Play against the players, the fans, officiating too. Everything their backs will be against the wall. So but at least they're able to position themselves so that they will not go into the game thinking they need at least a draw is enough for them. A draw will be good enough. Even if they lose, they can still finish as one of the third best placed teams, because at least they've scored a couple of goals, and at least 4 points should be enough to see them through. But also they cannot even shock the hosts. With the way they are playing, the confidence is rising. So that's what when you kick off your competition on a good note. I mean, it tends to bring that confidence, that motivation, and that's what they are riding on now. So, a good one for them, the victory, and let's see how far it's going to take them, especially in the next crucial game against the host.
Okay, I think, James, you've rightly answered the question that I was about to ask, because the game against Ivory Coast will be one that a lot of people will want to see how it will pan out, because Ivory Coast also need that game, at least a point. They will even be gunning for a victory in that game, because they will bear in mind that the Super Eagles will be playing, so to say, the weakest team, because as far as I'm concerned, the Guinea-Bissau, they are out of this tournament already. Of course, Nsue can be hoping to win the Golden Boot now. He's the top scorer with 3 goals. James, let's talk about Guinea-Bissau. What actually happened? They didn't look like a team that the Super Eagles play at the 2021 AFCON in Cameroon, because you would expect them to have built on that. And of course, they also shocked the Super Eagles in Abuja during the qualifiers. And people like Omar Balde, they've not been able to, bring their A game to this competition for their country. What really happened to Guinea-Bissau, James?
Well, I don't know. They tried to put up a fight. Also, there was a point they got a penalty before it was overturned. Maybe if the penalty was given and they scored, maybe they would have gone on to, do something. But I think they kept committing errors, and Equatorial Guinea was just capitalizing on it. So at this stage of major tournaments like this, if you don't tighten up, every slight error will be punished, and that was what I feel happened to them. They tried to fight back, but it was just too late for them. So I don't know. That's the thing about the tournament. You cannot compare it with qualifiers. You might do well during the qualifier, but when it comes to the competition proper, Femi, it's always a different ball game, because now everything is like you're starting all over again on a clean slate for everybody, and they are finding it the hard way. It's not going very well for them, and just like what you said, I will agree with you. I even there are some things that might qualify with 3 points, but I don't think they are in that reckoning, because they've considered too much. Their deficit is just too much.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's bye-bye for them from this one.
Okay. James, let's look at Ivory Coast and Nigeria. Ivory Coast, they became only the second host who lost at their group game since, of course, Equatorial Guinea lost to Zambia in 2012. Now, you want to call it a master class from Ousmane Diomande, who has also been under immense pressure before this competition, and of course, even after the draw against Equatorial Guinea. And 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 3-4-3, I should say, he started with, and due to pressure on the defense, he brought in Kenneth Omero to make it, and he switched his formation to 5-4-1. I think it's just something that the juniors that Nigerians have not seen him, Ousmane Diomande, in a long time, or has never even seen it before.
Yeah, Femi, I think we have to give him his flowers. He has come under serious criticism, in the manner in which the Super Eagles have been playing, but he showed that he can tweak things, and I think I like the idea that he decided to just reshuffle his pack, 3-4-3. I think it's good when you try to be flexible, not that you just stay rigid, So I think they studied the Ivorians, and just like what Finidi George said in his post-match, said they had to close down the speed. They know that the Ivorians are very good in the midfield, so they had to close that place up, choke the whole place, force them wide, and they know that they are not that solid going wide. So that's what they managed to do, and it worked perfectly for them, and they were hitting them on the counter, So, and you now have Victor Osimhen, who will hassle and harass any defense. And luckily for the Super Eagles, it was the foul on him that brought out the penalty. And kudos to the defense line. They were massive there yesterday. Down to the goalkeeper, because I was waiting for the goalkeeper to see how he was going to comport himself. And it was his biggest test as a Super in this competitive game for the Super Eagles, and he came out top very well. Held onto the ball, know when to slow down the game, and the defense line led by Troost-Ekong was a masterclass. From Olaina to Shemi Ajayi to Ekong, Calvin Bassey
as well.
Steve Sanusi struggled in the beginning, but I think at some point he had to stabilize, So, but one player that for me didn't really live up to his expectation was Alex Iwobi. He was not, I don't know, maybe because he played more of a withdrawn role, but he tried to get involved in the game, but he was just nowhere at all. He was just nowhere. It was as if he just there to complete the number, but he didn't did much. But overall, it was a masterclass from the Super Eagles. It's now a smash and grab style of football. They needed to make a statement, and what a way to make a statement against the host. When you beat the host, I mean, what can scare you again? They defeated the players, the fans, everything. So it's only left for them now to build on this and try and capitalize and take chances. They have to start converting them.
Okay, so sorry, there is no time, James. I would have asked if the Super Eagles are finally shocked you, because you say you've been looking for them, for the opportunity for the Eagles to shock you. I would have wanted to hear if the Eagles are shocked. James, what do you think the Ivorians didn't do well? Because you would expect that having the advantage of playing in front of your fans, 60,000 fans. What do you think they didn't do well, particularly for Luis Gasset, who will also be under immense pressure? Their next game is going to be against Equatorial Guinea. That's not going to be a walk in the park for them, because Equatorial Guinea are not Guinea-Bissau. What do you think they didn't do well in that game?
No, I mean they tried to do. They did everything that they could, but I think they just met a determined Super Eagles side, a side that came with a game plan, and unfortunately the coach couldn't come up with an idea or something to counter that. Everything they tried to. At some point they started shooting from distance. They were just going way off target, because if a team starts doing that, just know that they are frustrated. They ran out of ideas. So they came with a game plan, but the game plan was just not it. Even when they brought the former Arsenal player, Nicolas Pepe, he just off and puff. He was shut down. Every channel was shut down, and they didn't. They don't have those players who they don't have game changers. Gone are the days of the Drogba, the Yaya Touré's, the DJ Sokoras, Ronald Ndani, Solomon Kalou. Those guys that can, out of nothing. Remember how the Ivorian defeated the Super Eagles in 2008? We just took magic from Solomon Kalou. So they don't have those players, who can just take the game by the scruff of the neck and do something. Once the game plan went south, they just couldn't do anything. They just played into the hands of the Super Eagles. So let's see how they bounce back against the Equatorial Guinea. But I promise you, Femi, I'm going to sweat in that game.
Excuse me, James. Let's talk about the Ghana-Egypt. I don't even know what to say about that game, because I had a brief technical problem watching the game at home, and by the time the connection was back, it was then 1-0 to Ghana. By the time the connection was back, I saw 2-2. I had to watch over again, watch the goals, so that. And this morning, Chris Hutin, in the Ghana media, he said that. He said we'll continue to fight. It's true that there is a lot of frustration in the locker room. Our team deserved more, but football is like that. It's frustrating. With a similar performance, we will surely have won. 2 errors cost us the match. We will take this opportunity to take the 3 points. James, what would you even say? Because the errors from Inaki Williams, that was football error. Because if you are playing at the top of, as a professional footballer, you shouldn't be making such errors in a competition like the AFCON. You get punished, particularly against Egypt. What would you say, James? So generally to how the Black Stars perform before we come to the Kudus Magic.
Well, the Black Stars, it was unfortunate that they couldn't get the 3 points. It was self-inflicted situation for them. After taking
absolutely
in the lead on 2 occasions. But schoolboy errors from their own players gifted the Egyptians the goals they conceded, and that's why kudos also to the Egyptians. Despite the fact that they lost their key man and Mohamed Salah, it was as if the moment Salah left, they just went all out and expressed themselves, So like I said, in a major tournament like this, if you don't cut out those errors, you will be punished. That's what big teams do to big teams too. If once they sniff the opportunity, they take it. It was. But for me, I think that the game Ghana Egypt, for me, that was a good advertisement for African football. It was action packed. 3 goals scored in less than 5 minutes. I mean, it was. They were just going at each other. They were just fighting. Tactics, errors, flying here and there, tackles, free-flowing football. That's what the kind of football we want to watch. But I know it won't be a nice view for the Black Stars fans, because I mean they went twice in the game, and you expected them to try and contain the Egyptian. But I think the mistake they made was they didn't apply. They were not smart with when they went ahead, especially when they retook the lead. I mean, you expect them to sit back, try and shut things down, slow the game down, frustrate the Egyptian, but they kept running. The team that's behind, they will love the tempo to be high. But I expected the Black Stars to try and calm the game down. Nothing say some of the players who feign injuries, frustrate the Egyptian, but they kept running. No, I mean, it's part of football. You have to be smart about these things. You don't have to, because they are the ones chasing the game. So by the time you keep playing at the high tempo like them, you don't know when you start committing errors. So you should have been more conservative. You have a Kudus who all he needs is just a half chance, and he was going to convert it. But they kept playing at the same tempo, which suited the Egyptians. Okay. They just had to calm them down, just like what Paul Onachu did yesterday when he came on. He was just falling all over the place. That can be very, very frustrating. But they didn't do that. They were just trying to equal the Egyptians, and they played right into their very spacey side, who love those high tempo kind of football. But I mean, but like I said, it was a good advertisement for African football.
James, let's talk about Mamadou Kudus. We all could see what Ghana missed in the first game against Cape Verde. Now, for me, I think he's another African star born already. If he wasn't in that game, do you think the Black Stars could have lost?
Yes, possibly, because it just shows that he's the brightest spark in that team. I mean, look at those goals. The first one from nowhere, the second one too. The second one was a bit. It took a bit of a deflection, but I mean, if you don't if you don't take your chance, I mean, you never can tell. He took his opportunity and he went into the net. So Kudus has shown that he's the main man in this Black Stars team. But unfortunately, the other guys are not living up to the expectation. You don't expect somebody like that to do all the work in the front. Then you bad guys are giving away cheap goals at the back. It can be frustrating, And if somebody that came into the tournament with a bit of a fitness issue, but he has shown that he has what it takes to fire on all cylinders. And I mean, he has shown that. We've seen it. But the other guys need to step up. They just need to step up. You can't be doing all those hard work and the attacking third, and your teammates are busy giving away cheap opportunities away. So with those, for me, as far as so far so good, he is one of the stars of this competition. It doesn't come as a surprise to me, because this is someone that came into the competition with good form. And if the Black Stars manage to qualify from the group, we're going to see the best of Kudus. For me, it's going to be one of the top players. If the Black Stars should go far, you will contest for the player of the tournament.
Yes, let's look at matches that we have coming up today. Mozambique versus Cape Verde. It's the game of two giant killers, and it's the first time they'll be meeting at the AFCON. Just what should we be expecting from this game? Because it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Femi, it's going to be a tight game. He has the looking of the Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea clash, But one team that might come out top is Cape Verde. I mean, they will be coming on the back of the victory against the Black Stars, and they know that if they can try and get a win here, I mean, the qualification is sealed. Nobody will give them a chance of progressing from this group. But what a good way to set themselves up for qualification, even before their final game. But I think Mozambique will have a big say in that. They are not going to lie down and allow Cape Verde to roll all over them. They almost defeated the Egyptians, if not for that last gap penalty. So which means to show you that they will go into this game full of confidence that they can get something from this game. And if they do, Femi, if they manage to get a victory in this game against Cape Verde, I think it's going to be a big task for the Black Stars, because we've seen how they struggle with teams like this, So that's just it's going to be a feisty, tough encounter, and let's see who's going to take the opportunity, because it's a big opportunity for these two teams whoever come out tops, Femi, I guarantee you that team will qualify from the group stage.
Of course, in the last 3 games that these two teams have met, Cape Verde have won twice. Then they recorded. Okay, let's talk about the biggest game of the day on paper, Senegal versus Cameroon. It's a game of 2 halves because Senegal, they've been flying high, but Cameroon, we've seen this struggle. Even at the 2021 AFCON that they hosted, they finished 3rd. And then since Song took over, they managed to qualify for the World Cup. Then after then, even for this current AFCON, they had to qualify on the last day of the mighty of the qualifiers. They drew their first game against Guinea, and we all knew that if not for that red card, possibly Guinea might likely have run away with the win. James, what do we expect from Cameroon in this game? Because a defeat will mean that they are staring exit in the face.
For me, one thing I've learned to do is not to write off Cameroon, no matter the situation they find themselves. Fine, you might want to say, okay, champions, Senegal, they won their first game, but I mean, this is Cameroon. They're so unpredictable. Maybe this is the game that they're going to take their first win. You never can tell. They just have this way of fighting back. They have this determination. They know how to go for what they need. Look at the way they qualify for the last World Cup. After losing their home game against Algeria, they went out to Algeria and they nicked it in the 9 minutes. So for me, it's not going to be easy for Senegal. They will have a fight in their hands. The Cameroonians will not go down without a fight. They will make sure that the game is going to be very, very difficult for the Senegalese. And I'm sure they're not going to find it easy. I mean, the Senegalese. It's going to be war, So we should expect an explosive encounter. I'm not. You might want to say, okay, on paper you want to give it to the Senegalese, but for me, it's going to be very difficult to neck out because, like I said, the Cameroonians so unpredictable. They will come out fighting, and at the end of the day, might even come out with the 3 points. Never can tell.
Okay. We really don't have much time left, so we need to try to hasten up now. Let's talk about Andre Onana, James. Big games are for big players. Would you expect Ugobason to bring him in now, or would you think it is the right moment for Ugobason to bring him in now? Considering the furor that broke out between the two of them after the goalkeeper flew in from Manchester United for their game against Guinea.
I think one of the biggest mistakes the Cameroonians coaching crew or the FA, what they did was still allowing Onana to come to the competition. I think they should have stick with Undua, the reserve goalkeeper. I mean, this is somebody that was not part of the training, and look at what happened after the first game. We started hearing reports that he was angry with the coaching crew that he expected to be in goal. I mean, somebody that had not been part of the team, he wanted to just stroll into the lineup, and So for me, if the Cameroonians are going to crash out of this competition, for me, this is one of the reasons why they are going to crash out, because as it is now, there's friction. And this issue with Onana and the coaching crew came way back the last World Cup. We also how he left camp. Now there's another issue on the ground now, and if they don't nick this in the board, it's going to be a serious problem. For me, I think the coaching crew, I think they should still bench him. Whatever wants to happen, let it happen. I mean, sometimes you just have to let these players know that at certain things you don't do. What they will never do in their club side, they want to come back here and do it. I mean, you've not been part of this team, so it won't be fair for the guy who have kept good, who have been in the training tour and camp and everything, to now sit down for you because you are not. What have you been? I mean, we've seen his performance in Manchester United. He's a work, but I mean, if you want to just based on what has been happening, he doesn't deserve the first shot. So for me, I think the coaching crew should sit him down. If he wants to leave the camp, he should go ahead and leave it.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the last game of the day, Guinea versus the Gambia. Not in that order in terms of games anyway. Let's talk about the game, James. The Gambia know that a defeat would mean that they would certainly be going home, considering their 3-0 defeat to Senegal. But again, we saw that they have element of fighting spirit, and Guinea should not discountenance that.
Yeah, but I think it should be advantage Guinea. I mean, if you can withstand the onslaught from the Cameroonian with a player down, I mean, what better way to kickstart your tournament? And they managed to get a point out of that game. You know, that's why the fact that they lost their captain right from the first half, they still held on. So this is an opportunity for them against Gambia. Gambian side that lost their first game, they were trashed 3-0. You know, but we want to cut them some slack because they also lost a player. I think that was what contributed to their collapse against Senegal. But I think it should be advantage Guinea. I want to believe that they have what they take out the Gambians. I mean, it's going to be tough. The Gambia will put up a fight, but we want to stick with Guinea because they've shown right from preparations and the game against Cameroon that they are a team that you cannot just put aside. They're going to give a good fight, and I want to stick out my neck for the Sierra Nationals to take this one. And once they do, Femi, I'm telling you, they will fight for that top spot.
James, thank you so much for your analysis on the show today. Thank you. And to our fans across the world, we appreciate you so much. And we hope that you are having a fantastic viewing experience at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Perhaps you are even in the stadium. Please, can you share some moments with us? Maybe let us know what you think about the AFCON so far. Like I even said yesterday, what are those interesting things that you've seen at the AFCON, or the things that you think that CAF can adopt in the build-up to the 2025 edition? Let us know in the comment section. We appreciate you so much for your company every time, every day. We appreciate you so much. To our producer also for always doing this for us. We appreciate you so much. Kade, hopefully, will be around tomorrow or next as we continue to bring you the best regarding the AFCON. I remain Asha Olula Femi Kade. We'll see you tomorrow with another yesterday at the AFCON and previewing games that are on the card for tomorrow. Bye for now.